right, everybody, welcome Craig Sawyer to Code of Vets. Oh my goodness, this is such an honor to have you, Craig. I really don't even need to introduce you, especially in our veteran community. You are a rock star. We all love you and the mission that you're on. But for those of you who may not know, he is a Navy SEAL, DEVGRU SEAL Team 6 sniper. Oh my goodness, we could go on and on with his military history and career, and he's continuing his service with V4CR, and I want to talk about that just for a second. Craig founded the V4CR in April 2017. His nickname is Sawman. He has dedicated his life to raising awareness about the darkness infesting our communities, rescuing victims, and putting predators behind bars. This is a phenomenal mission that you're on. I believe you are on a mission from God. You're a warrior from God. Thank you so much for what you do, Craig. Welcome to Code of Vets.
Well, thank you for having me, Gretchen. I appreciate you giving me a platform and to share what we're doing and to help raise awareness about the problem so that we can prevent a lot of harm to the innocent kids out there. So this started in April of last year when we started this. Just a month prior, our daughter had been abducted at knife point and brutally sexually assaulted for hours in Tucson, Arizona. And it's been traumatizing to our family, not just to our daughter, because I mean, what happens to one happens to all in a family that's loving like ours is. And so we wanted to fight back. You know, Aspen is her mama and papa's daughter. I mean, she's a scrapper. My wife's dressed as Irish and Cherokee, man. She doesn't take any grief from anybody, you know. And I grew up a fighter and a warrior and Marine Corps and SEAL team, and we just believe in doing what's right. And when people come for us, we're not inclined to just take it. You know, we're loving and giving, but don't come for us because we're going to win. And exactly. That's what we decided. You know, Aspen's like, Papa, I want to fight back, I want to do something. And so long story short, our precious little daughter served as a junior decoy agent on one of our sets of sting operations with joint federal and local law enforcement. And she was instrumental in helping get predators off the streets and watch them get arrested. So she watched them, literally stood in front of them after they're handcuffed and watched these predators morph from predator into prisoner. And it was empowering. She said, man, that was better than any counseling I could have ever gotten as far as healing and feeling that like I'm part of the solution. You know, the system can work, you know, and we can help. So we're thankful for that. You know, that's been an answer to prayer, her being able to be part of the team. And so she's passionate about it. And we appreciate her being able to be part and fight back a little bit. So.
Well, I'm telling you what you're doing is powerful, and you're speaking out against something that is so common in our country. And I did share with you before that our family has walked a similar journey. When our daughter was 14, she was sexually assaulted by two strangers. And it's something that, like you said, that resonated with me just now in this moment, is that it doesn't just impact the victim. There's a ripple effect throughout the entire family. It crippled our family for a time. And like I shared with you, if without our faith, we would not have survived that journey with her. She's a beautiful soul. She's in her 20s now, has a family and our first grandson. We're blessed to have him, and he's been a joy in her life, and God's given him to her to give her just a healing in her heart that we couldn't do, that no one else in this world could do. That's why I truly believe in God. It really cements my faith to see the beauty of life, the miracle of life. And I just want you to know that from our family to yours, we're walking this journey with you. We've got your back, and we truly do believe in what you're doing. You're a champion. You're a champion for millions and millions of Americans. Thank you so much, Craig.
Absolutely. It's a privilege to do this work. And the detectives, the agents that help us with our cases, our team, our staff, the operators on my Viper team, the guys that I've operated with in different places throughout my career that are all helping and being part of this. You can see them in some of the different videos that we do or interviews. And I mean, I'm in Houston right now with another charity golf tournament. And that one's Heroes for Freedom. And so there's another group of guys that I've known for years, most of them, getting together to golf, and it's just a brotherhood, the SEAL team community. It's a privilege to have guys that I've known for so many years be part of this operation and this effort too, to defend our people in a different way than we did on the SEAL. But the law enforcement that we've been working with, federal and local, are fantastic, and not all cities are willing to address the child trafficking and run operations against it. But the ones that we've found that do, man, we can rack them and stack them. We're making a lot of arrests, and we're grateful for those prosecutors, the district attorneys, the sheriffs, the chiefs of police with actual leadership and intent to clean up their cities and serve and protect their people. We honor those guys and ladies, that we're thankful for their friendship and their alliance. That's a beautiful thing, because together a non-government organization and law enforcement can do what we can't separately. Mm-hmm. And so that alliance is very powerful and very important. And so we're already training law enforcement on how our template of operations are so effective. So it's exciting to be a part of. It's an ugly topic, but it's beautiful to see people standing up together and rising up to fight this.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. This is a tough topic to tackle. It's it's heartbreaking, and it's difficult for me to wrap my mind around this part of our nation, because it is ugly. It needs to be exposed. We need to talk about it openly, and we need to join together. Citizens, veterans, all of us alike, whatever your group is, we need to come together, because you know what? Our children are our hearts. Our children are our future, and they deserve better. And we need to be stomping this evil out in every way that we can. So I'm definitely proud to partner with you and join you and just blasting you out as much as I can on social media, because I am a true believer in what you're doing. And I thank God for you guys every day, because we have to have our warriors in this nation, because there is so much evil out there. I'm a woman of faith, and I believe that we are in a battle of good versus evil. And I just want to share a scripture, is John 8:32. Jesus said, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And when I see what you're doing, as I follow what you do, I know what you're doing is truth. And you're speaking truth, and you're sharing it with us as you go, and as your organization is flourishing and growing. He's given you this opportunity to make a difference in millions and millions of Americans' lives, and to save lives. And I see the truth in you, and I just want to be a small part of that, just a grain in the sand, just to say, hey, we've got to back this warrior. We have to walk with him, especially in our veteran community, Craig. We have to uplift each other and support each other in our endeavors, and we really need to join together in that mission, because we're all on the same mission, and that's to protect our country, our American citizens, and to have each other's back. And that brotherhood is a beautiful thing. I love being a part of the veteran community. It's very special and dear to my heart.
Yeah, so many good people. And this is something that we can all be a part of. Not everybody can make it into a tier 1 level counter-terrorist unit and go around the world and kick doors and shoot terrorists in the face to make sure they don't come here and attack our kids. But we can protect our kids through volunteering.
Exactly.
An organization like ours, Vets for Child Rescue, our website, we've got a volunteer portal on vetsforchildrescue.org.
And we can donate as well, correct?
Yeah. Donate. We're not funded by the government. We're a small nonprofit organization. We're just throwing our backs into this and trying like heck to make something positive happen. So the only money we have are donations that people give to help us, but we've been very effective with it. So I'm going to be asking everybody that if you're listening, please consider donating to this mission, because I tell you what, it's a mission from God. There's nothing more beautiful than our kids, and we've got to protect them. And I want to ask you about, you've been working on a series, and I've been reading a little bit about that. I want to find out more about that. How are we going to be able to watch that in the upcoming future? And tell us a little bit about what you have been documenting. Yeah, man. Okay, so the producer that we hired to shoot the documentary about what we do says that November 9th is the date that he's going to get that out to the public. Okay. So we trust that he'll do that well and knock it out of the park. That'll be episode 1, or I think he's calling it a prologue. Okay. But what we've been filming is operations down on the southern border, of what happens with the border and the immigration there, and the child trafficking, sting operations from coast to coast, Connecticut, Utah, and in between, of us working with federal and local law enforcement, setting up and letting the predators come in, having already incriminated themselves with us online and through apps and over the phone and other means, and us arresting them, having a house full of SWAT team, K-9 unit, sheriff's department, and everything else. It's a pretty great series of justice happening there. Right. It's fantastic friendships and partnerships and alliances that just fun to be a part of, and it feels right. It feels so good. And then over in Southeast Asia, we've gone into 3 countries helping other organizations like SWAT Ministries train the agents, the volunteers for other NGOs that go into the bars and brothels and help pull out the underage girls that don't want to be there. that are there under financial duress or some sort of other manipulation. So Destiny Rescue is a group that does that. And so we've been working with Destiny Rescue, helping with some of their operations and filming. So you'll see a little bit of all of this. We've got a surviving victim that we were able to rescue on Easter Sunday. That was a miracle. I try not to get choked up every time I talk about it, but she's such a beautiful soul, and she was delivered from the worst situation I could think of. And she has gotten her high school GED since then. She's gotten college prep. We've got her a college scholarship. She got her first little job and bank account. She's been going to church. She's so happy and healthy, and she's still brilliant. She just reads people like nobody you'll believe. I mean, she's good. She sees through BS.
I can imagine.
Being a fraud, she's like, no, that person.
Right.
So we love her. She's like our new little sister. That's just a blessing. We interview her in it. Different experts. Bob Hamer is one of my good friends. He's a Marine with FBI. He went inside of NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association of Pedophiles. Undercover. The FBI made him do it. He didn't want to do it. He's like, Lord, let this cup pass from me. And the FBI said, no, we need you to do this. And he went inside and he got 8 convictions on major pedophiles.
That's a blessing. Thank you for sharing that. Good.
He's
good
one of my heroes. A lot
amazing.
of our board of directors are so many good people. We've got an admiral, a Navy admiral, Charles Moore. We've got another national figure that's he's a hero, but he's been on the covert side, so most people don't know about him. They know about him through the Clancy Jack Ryan figure. But his real name is Jack Farmer, and he's worked for the Marine Corps and the intelligence side and the CIA and other agencies. And he's a fantastic contributor on a lot of things for our national security and against child trafficking now with us. And Judith Reisman, she's a professor at Liberty University. She's been dogging Alfred Kinsey for his falsified studies, trying to normalize pedophilia all the way back in the 50s. So he's kind of the evil influencer that's bred 3 generations of pedophile and all the harm that we're seeing. So she's another hero of mine. So there's so many good people behind us, and we're just thankful, you know.
Well, you're expanding quickly, you're growing quickly.
All of that.
Good. I'm excited. I'm ready to see it. And you said November. Are you partnering with Netflix? Is that who's going to be? I
don't think he's going to air the episode 1 on Netflix. He said it's going to be on Vimeo. November 9th. But whatever happens with that, we're already working with the biggest networks and production companies in the business.
Wonderful.
To see where this thing wants to live, who's going to produce it in the future.
I got it.
The story's just growing, and it's fantastic, the opportunities. So people are going to hear the truth. We're getting the word out to them. The information that we should all know. Look, if this is the fastest growing criminal enterprise on earth, shouldn't the mainstream news media be warning us? Here's what's happening to your kids, folks.
Thank you for saying that. Yes, this should be all over mainstream media, and we never talk about it. We never hear about it. That's why we're doing it here on social media. We've got to get the word out because our kids they're in danger, and they're being killed. They're being trafficked out. We're the ones who are going to have to come together and rise up and stop it, because the mainstream media, they're so focused on political division that they're not focusing on the most important issues in our country, and one of them is our future, our children, and it drives me crazy, Craig.
Look, if you want to talk about struggle between good and evil, you want to destroy a country, you shatter the psyche of an entire young generation of kids.
Yes.
And that nation has no future. That nation will not be able to resist the oncoming tyranny in years to come. So we're in a battle, not only for our country, but for the future of all of these children. And it's systematic and it's widespread. $150 billion industry, they're estimating, child trafficking globally. So this is a big deal. This is not just some small sporadic thing. This is systematic.
It's growing. Yes.
We can't fight what we don't know. God forbid, if I had cancer, I couldn't fight it unless I knew that I had it. Right. So you've got to alert the populace. Hey, we've got a problem. Here's what's happening to our kids, folks. Let's rise up as a nation. Let's turn the culture against this child rape, against this harm that's been made so soft by Alfred Kinsey and those that subscribe to that. Oh, it's just sex. You know, what's the big problem? The problem is when we're interviewing the adults, the surviving victims, although they weren't being beaten bloody while they're being raped, their minds were traumatized because they don't understand why an adult that should be mentoring and genuinely loving them and looking after them and making sure they're safe and protected and educated are instead taking out their selfish lust upon that child. And children don't understand why an adult will do that. And we're able to learn now how damaging, lifelong damaging that is.
It's a lifelong battle. It's a
the trauma,
battle.
The psychological trauma is extensive and it's evil. And we have to turn against it culturally and not say it's okay. It's not just another form of sex. It's abuse, because a child's brain is not fully developed. They're thinking now until more like 23, 24 years old. So they don't have the cognitive facilities to advocate against a predatory adult for themselves. Right. That's why it's illegal. It should be common sense. To a healthy mind, there's nothing attractive about a child sexually. No. But to a sick mind, people do bad things. So we've got to put a stop to it. And it takes everybody watching for it, looking after the children, not trusting people with our children naively and maybe foolishly in some cases. Let's realize that that predators put themselves in positions of authority and positions of access to children, to have privacy with children, to abuse them. So we have to provide safety and scrutiny for the kids so that this quits happening on such a widespread, unchecked level.
And you know what, Craig, I'm telling you what right now, when your series comes out and we all start watching it, you're going to explode, because every mom and dad, this is their worst nightmare. I'm telling you, when you start shining the light on it, I'm going to be praying for you as well, but your organization is going to explode, and it needs to, because this is such an issue that needs to be addressed in our country. We need to be leaders in the world on this. We need to say no in our country and step up as American citizens and say this is not going to happen in our nation. But especially as parents, I just can't imagine just staying silent about it and not speaking about it. It's on us, not just you. It's on each one of us to partner with you and walk with you through this journey, because it's such an important one. Again, it impacts our future, and it's our babies we're talking about. This is such an emotional topic for me, so I'm really glad that you're here, and I'm really glad you're pushing it. And I want to say that you're getting some resistance, but because you are good and you're out there doing something powerful, there's always going to be somebody out there to pull and drag you down. And I briefly want to touch on that, because I'm all about the positivity. I love what you're doing, and I know you're going to be huge. I know this is going to be phenomenal for our nation and our future and for our kids. But we also have to be aware that there are individuals out there who will try to tear you down, because this is something good. This is good versus evil. It's that classic, it's been going on since the beginning of time. Whenever there's something good going on, the devil will creep in and try to destroy it. And that you've been adversely impacted because of a few trolls have gotten together and have wrapped their hands around this conspiracy theory about what happened in Arizona. I don't want to dwell on it very long. I just want to say, when you see the truth, when I look at you and I see what you've done, and I look at your social media, and it's consistent, and you have documentation of what you are performing and doing, that's phenomenal. For me, it's an easy choice. I choose to walk with you. And I think most common sense, rational adults choose to walk with you. But this particular individual, the charlatan who was out there, screaming that there was a child rape camp, a cartel-led rape camp, was focused, I believe, on causing division and just causing problems. But you know what? It's being exposed for what it is. I just briefly want you to touch on it. We're laying this to bed. I'm already seeing it's already been proven to be something fraudulent and just a big lie. It's orchestrated. So I just want you to briefly touch on it. Well, then we'll move back to our positivity.
Yeah. Well, the one guy that you're talking about, some people think he was put up to it to deliberately try to discredit me, because that's all he's tried to do from it. We went to have a look at the camp. It looked concerning, and we were recommending that there be an investigation. Well, we met with law enforcement and learned that there already had been an investigation going on. The guy was lying. Mm-hmm. Then we learned that guy was lying about all of the evidence that he was submitting. So he's actually physically hoaxing the evidence. What he said was evidence was a lie. So we went through all the reports. The law enforcement reports noted all the same concerns about that site that I did. But at the end of the day, there was no evidence of any crime. So the hoaxer had to sensationalize everything and hype it in order to get people to give him a lot of money.
Right. And you know what? Bottom line, it's about the money, about gift cards, whatever he could get from people. That's what it is.
Famous. Yeah, he wanted to be famous on the internet and pretend to be something he wasn't. And
right.
And sadly, I think a lot of well-meaning people got snowed by it, by a con man. But I blame them for not being diligent enough to do basic fact checking. Because look, I've lived my whole life. My dad was a sincere and devout pastor of a church, and I grew up here in southern Texas, a Christian. I went to the Marine Corps, SEAL teams, federal law enforcement, and then high threat dignitary mobile protection in the war zones. And now I protect children. So my ethics, my peers that I've been surrounded by hundreds and thousands of people that are like-minded my whole life, that life does not lend itself to somehow suddenly imagining that I'm the opposite of everything I've been shouting and sacrificing and fighting for my whole life. So fortunately, the conspiracy theorists have to hang their hat on the opposite of reality, and that you know, and fortunately, all of the facts are public. You can see who we are, who I am. Look, my whole background is an open book, and so our joint operations with law enforcement, the arrests, all of that's public. So the conspiracy, the small group of them have to overcome all of that, and they can't. So that's why they're dying off very rapidly. But hey, we just keep smiling and looking after the kids.
We keep marching forward, and that's what you're doing. And the only reason I bring this up is because you did have to step away from what this important cause to address it, because you do have to address when something snowballs, you do have to address it. And for me, it's a shame that you have to step away from children and from raising awareness about this particular issue to address trolls. I feel like that's ridiculous. We as responsible adults we have to be responsible for doing some digging and some research, and being able to, and that's why I stated the scripture, we have to be able to discern the truth.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, the facts are plain. We do have to be responsible and accountable for what we claim and what we accuse people of. So
exactly.
I think that's the bottom line. Be accountable for what you post, and be careful before you attack the good guys that are actually doing the work that's readily available. You can research it online, the arrest records and all of this. So.
Oh yeah, he's a convicted felon. Oh yeah, so that's been put to bed. And I want to keep moving because I'm trying to get as much information out there as possible, because a lot of parents are watching. I'm a parent, and you have so much knowledge about this particular area. What can we do as parents to keep our kids safe, especially with the technology we have today? We were just talking about social media and how charlatans and fraud, con men can use it to their advantage for money, but also the pedophiles use it to weave a web for children to be entrapped. So what can we do? What are we looking for? Can you share with us some of that?
The locations that pedophiles used to traditionally stalk children was playgrounds and schools and so forth. Now it's mostly online. It's still all the traditional places, the physical locations, but now online, the pedophiles will stalk children through the different apps. And what we've got is a list of apps that are potentially harmful that the predators use to stalk our children. So our child may be on their phone in their bedroom, and we'll lock our vehicles, lock our doors, our windows, and go into our bedroom and think our home and our family is secure at night, but we may as well have left that window at our child's bedroom wide open because the child is in there on their iPhone their laptop or their iPad, and they're talking to someone that they think is a little friend. This is little Johnny is my friend. No, Johnny's actually a 49-year-old child rapist who's trying to get you to video yourself inappropriately or take pictures or lure you outside around the corner to the playground and throw you in the back of a creepy rape van, never to be seen or heard from again. So we've got a list of apps that the predators use to stalk the children right on our website. So again, if you go to vetsforchildrescue.org, you'll see a list of apps there. And I think there's even the ability to register by email. So if you want, as that list of apps evolves, like an antivirus software kind of thing, the list of apps that the predators use evolve, we'll update that and send people email updates. So you can even register for that if you want. So there's things like that. I would say generally just be hyper vigilant, not scared, not paranoid. Don't let it steal your happiness and your joy. But just realize that predators put themselves in positions to be coaches and scout leaders and
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Teachers and even police and priests and, God help us, other positions that we've grown to trust. And I want to say this, most of those people are overwhelmingly good, but the predators know that it's an advantageous position to have access to the children. So let's just keep an eye on them. Trust but verify.
Yeah.
Just don't leave them alone with your kids.
Yeah.
And we can overcome a lot of harm that way. And babysitters, man, I'm a big proponent of security cams in our homes. Let's watch those that are watching our kids, and let's make sure that they're safe.
I had not thought about that. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Those are all good suggestions. Thank you. Because we all need to be aware. Again, this is for me, it's just something I feel like it's continuing to grow. And I'm not sure why, but I think perhaps it's because we do not talk about it. It's something you don't talk about. There's this stigma attached to it.
It's kept silent. I think a lot of the big elite are in on it, and they want it kept quiet because they benefit from it financially. They benefit from it politically because you just use it as political leverage. They film each other these big parties and islands, the Epstein Island type of scenario. They'll get each other drunk at these big elaborate parties and film each other surreptitiously in back bedrooms doing whatever with kids. And then they use that as political leverage to force that that public figure to do whatever they want. So we refer to that as a brownstoning operation. That's a big problem.
Well, we the American people, I think it's about time we the American people step up and put a stop to this. Because actually, Craig, if we came together in historic numbers, we have more power than they do in numbers. And the more we talk about it, and the more that you shine the light on it, and we start gathering around you and speaking out about it, and we're not going to stop. This is just the beginning for you. Your organization is just a year and a half old.
Yes, ma'am.
And look how far it's come. I can't imagine what you're going to look like in 3 to 5 years. It's going to be. You're going to be.
So hopeful.
You're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I want to have the biggest positive impact I can. People are like, have you arrested Hillary yet? I'm like, my gosh, we're just getting started. We got a multi-trillion-dollar federal government that hasn't been able to arrest Hillary. You get us funded. We got people that can do investigations.
Hey,
we'll start going big.
Hey, we're marching with you.
As we can, but whoever's guilty of this, I want to bring them down.
We're coming for you. Yeah.
Party. I don't care about race, gender, religion.
Yeah.
If they're raping children, I want to stop them.
Or status. Yeah, if you're
wealthy. We've all been
Matter.
kids.
Yeah.
All of us. We've all been kids. Did any of us want to be brutally raped when we were children by a full-grown adult? No. It's common sense. And so we can never allow that to be politically correct. We can never allow someone to demoralize us and pressure us and force us to say that that's somehow healthy and good when we know that the child brain is not capable of processing that level of trauma and not able to advocate for themselves yet. We know it's harmful. It's proven. It's science. Mm-hmm. And so we can never allow for that to be called, oh, that's just another sexual preference. No, the child is a victim. And that's why it's made legal for the child to be protected under the age of 18 against an adult because they're not fully developed mentally yet. And so we just have to protect our kids. And that's all it's about. There's no agenda behind Veterans for Child Rescue other than let's stop the harm to the children, folks. Let's rise up as a culture and do something positive. And you don't need to be a certain type of person. You just want to have to protect the kids to be part of Vets for Child Rescue. We appreciate everybody's friendship and alliance and support with us.
Well, we've got you. We're walking with you. And I'm definitely going to be pushing your mission from this day forward as more so than I was. It's an honor, Craig. Thank you for doing what you do. Do not stop. You're going to be huge. As President Trump says, you're going to be huge.
I don't want to be huge. I want child safety to be huge.
That's what I mean. I want your organization to be nationwide. I want it to be incredible. I want it to be one of the biggest organizations that in the history of our nation because our children are worth it. And we're going to protect them. And as moms and dads, we need to rise up with you and say no more. If enough of us rise up and walk with you through this journey of yours, and thank you for starting this. We've got this. We can do this. We can eradicate this evil that has been in our nation for way too long.
Yes, ma'am. We can do it, and we must do it, and so we shall.
Yes.
And getting the word out on social media has been difficult because a lot of our social media owners share the same anti-American culture as do the owners of the mainstream news media and big Hollywood now. So they don't want the people to know about child trafficking and pedophilia. but there's a new app that's unbiased, and it's all about the First Amendment and freedom of speech, and it's called the Liberty Network app.
I just saw that on your site this morning.
Yes,
So yeah, it's very new. Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's no political agenda there. It's just let people speak and be free. And of course, they're not going to be able to allow terrorists to promote on there. There's got to be rules. But generally speaking, your religion or your political affiliations, none of that's going to be suppressed. You'll be able to celebrate all of your constitutional rights and just be free Americans the way our founding fathers wanted.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're screaming and begging for online, and we'll be able to talk there and help fight child trafficking on the Liberty app, and just have a free place for Americans to chat now. So that's coming. That'll be a part of it. It's beautiful, and I'm just thankful for all the progress and forward.
Well, good, because I tell you, when it's ready, there's going to be millions of us following you. Right now, we're all censored. I struggle. I struggle to get this information out, but I work at it because I'm not going to stop. Our veteran community's worth it. I love my veterans, and what you're doing is worth. Our children they're definitely worth it. So we're going to keep fighting, and when that app is ready, I'm going to be monitoring your page. So let us know, because we're going to be following you over there.
All right.
Because I'm all about free speech, Craig. I truly am.
Well, thanks for what you do for giving veterans a voice, Gretchen.
Oh, I love it.
Just your
an
heart for our country and freedom, liberty, and for our veterans. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy and your efforts. And again, your patriotism for our country. So God bless you.
God bless you. It was an honor.